Hello, welcome to the Superbone channel. We're interviewing top trombonists from around the world to find out more about them. And next up is Daryl McKenzie. Say hi, Daryl.
Hi, Daryl. Oh, no. Hi, Michael.
Thanks, Daryl. He's an Australian trombonist and he runs the premier big band in Melbourne, the Daryl McKenzie Jazz Orchestra. He was a musical director for Hey Hey It's Saturday, Dancing with the Stars, and has orchestrated and conducted Australian and international movie scores, including The Truman Show, Red Dog, and Sapphires. Fantastic to have you on the channel, Daryl. How are you coping with isolation there in Australia?
Thanks for having me on, Michael. I've been following your series, fantastic series. Yeah, look, it's a unique time, and a lot of people around the world are in the same position where, yeah, we're all hanging to get out and perform again, but I'm quite fortunate. I've got some online teaching and lecturing that I'm doing. I'm still getting a fair bit of arranging work, which you may think is a bit strange. If there's no performing, why would anyone need arrangements? But I think some people are optimistic that we're going to come out of this and they're going to get to play together. So, yeah, look, life's going along well. You know, I actually decided to put on pants today for this. So, you know,
Brilliant.
Good.
I don't think everyone puts on pants for the recordings because, you know, it's always top up.
That's right. Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's crack on to another question.
Sure.
Who is your favourite jazz trombonist? And give us a recording.
Yeah. That's kind of like asking who's my favourite child. That's a little unfair, that question. Look, I guess my first memories as a kid were listening to recordings that my dad would play at home of Kay Winding and J.J. Johnson, Bill Watrous. I'll never forget the day he brought home Manhattan Wildlife Refuge. Boy, that just blew my socks off. Curtis Fuller, Irby Green, the 21 Trombones album, fantastic. But look, I think the most influential certainly would have to be J.J. And if I had to pick an album, I reckon, J.J. Johnson and Nat Adderley, that Yokohama concert from '78. That's just mind-blowing stuff. I just
brilliant, isn't it?
Adored that album. Yeah.
So I guess you listened to a lot of those trombonists that you mentioned on vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Vinyl, and then tried to find them on CD, and now they're all on YouTube.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone as a trombonist, you know, we're told to mimic and really try and copy what the greats are doing. So what would you like to take from their playing?
Well, look, I guess with JJ, it was basically his sense of phrasing and melody. It was, of course, he had incredible chops, but the way he could treat the trombone alongside, saxophone and trumpet players playing that at that level, I found phenomenal. And I remember transcribing stuff and really resonated with me. I was actually lucky enough to hear him play.
Wow.
When I was at North Texas, he came, that was about 88. He came down to be on the jury for Steve Weist's Masters recital. And if that wouldn't be intimidating, I don't know what would be for poor old Steve. But Steve rose to the occasion, did a fantastic job. And JJ also did a workshop there. He hadn't been playing for a while. He'd been working as a writer in LA, and he just got back into playing again. But boy, it was just like seeing God playing the trombone. It was phenomenal. Yeah.
It's a good way to put it, isn't it?
It was all still there, and it was like, wow, this is great,
Yeah. I had the same kind of experience with Bill Watrous, but only 7 years ago in Slide Factory. So he was, 78 and he still could play.
My band got to play with him at the Melbourne International Brass Festival quite a few years ago. And he was just fantastic. Yeah, it was, again, it's like my childhood hero. I'm introducing him and there he is playing away right there in front of the band. And he was the loveliest guy too. He was full of praise for the band because we were sight reading most of his charts and they were pretty tough. Some tough Tom Kubas charts, but such a lovely guy and a beautiful player.
You must have met a few greats when you were studying over in North Texas.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the guys that were there learning at that stage have gone on to forge really, good careers all around the world. And it's a bit of a connection. Anytime someone comes to town, we always have a North Texas hang.
Nice.
It was a great experience. Yeah.
Phenomenal. Let's get on to your career, Daryl. Who was your first teacher or your biggest influence?
My first teacher was actually my dad, because he was a player and he kept playing right up into his 80s. I remember, he used to drag me in for a lesson on a Saturday afternoon when I was still in primary school. I just wanted to be out kicking the footy with the neighbourhood kids. But it really paved the way for me to develop a love for the instrument. And when I was in high school, my teacher then, Brian Kemp, affectionately known as Biggles, he'd been in the Channel 9 band on Graham Kennedy's IMT, and he was playing in the Paul Hogan Show Orchestra at that stage.
Yep.
And he was a huge influence on me, not only from playing, but actually teaching me about how to get on in the industry and how to be employable and how to relate to other musicians and what they're looking for. Because you can be the greatest player in the world, but if you're hard to get on with, no one's going to book you.
Yep.
He got me into arranging. He was doing some copying work and, got me a few contacts.
Great.
He got me onto things like the Practice with the Experts book. All the great Hollywood players, Dick Nash and all those sort of guys, all put an exercise in. It's a really great book.
Okay.
We were doing Tommy Dorsey transcriptions. We put together some trombone quartets with a few other guys. And he put together these amazing mixtapes for me. And he was introducing me to, like Frank Rosolino and George Roberts and those sort of players. And then I never forget the day he put on a record when I was there, and it was that Urbie Green album, The Fox. I don't know if you know that one. But I thought that was so cool because it was funky and, it had electronic instruments in it. And like, wow, you can do that with the trombone, and listen to his phrasing. And that was so great. And then even artists like Albert Mangelsdorf, it's like, you got to check this guy out. Let's see what he can do with the trombone. I thought, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. You can actually play two notes at the same time. Yeah.
So he really opened your eyes to kind of what was possible on the trombone and in music.
Yeah. I also went along to the ABC Melbourne Show Band, which, if anyone's not familiar with that, was a full-time TV studio band. They'd put on an annual workshop every year for high school kids. So we rolled in, and there were my heroes there, Don Locke and John Buckley and Keith McDonald, and we'd do a workshop. And then they would pick, from all the instrumentalists, they would pick like a super band who'd get up in a concert in the Melbourne Town Hall in the afternoon, and we get to sit beside the guys in the ABC Melbourne Show Band and play a couple of charts. And like, whoa, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Went out of that on such a high. And even to this day with my big band, we do a monthly residency, and I will always get a high school student to come in and play a number with the big band. And we get so much positive feedback out of that, and just trying to nurture young talent and give them that experience. Some of them have fantastic high school bands that they play in, but some of them play in, sort of lower standard band. And just to hear their chart come to life with good musicians is a great experience.
Yeah.
I then went on to the College of the Arts, like a lot of people in Melbourne did, and there was some fantastic teachers there, like Tony Gould and Bob Settergreen. I was introduced to Graham Lyle there, who then got me working at Channel 9 as a copyist.
Great.
And I tell my students who don't even know what a copyist is, we had to write out music with an ink pen, and I went into the copying shed, and there were three guys in there, and they were chain smoking and drinking coffee, and had the radio on, and they were talking football, and I thought, this is my idea of musical hell. I want to get out of there. I want to start arranging. So Graham got me a bit of arranging work at the final year of the Don Lane show. I was starting to do a bit of stuff then. And then, just developed from there. I had some good teachers when I was at the VCA, a guy named Jeff McCall, who went on to be a really top level surgeon. He introduced me to Carl Fontana. He could doodle tongue just like Carl. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Don Locke, who had been the lead trombone player of the ABC Melbourne Show Band and the Don Lane show as well, introduced me to Dave Steinmeier and Dick Nash and those sort of guys, because he was into that super lyrical sort of playing. And also had a year with Brett Kelly from the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, and that was all about technique. And he really whipped me. And I think to this day, he's never really forgiven me for not actually getting all that work done that he wanted me to do. But that was really a really great year as well. Of course, going on to North Texas, learning from Steve Wiest and Rob Blossom, who I think he's playing an orchestra in Spain now, and Vern Cagaris, who was the trombone studio professor there, who passed away about 4 years ago. He was an amazing guy as well. Came back to Australia, got into arranging work and TV work, Bert Newton's Midday Show, and then Hey Hey Saturday, and on the rest of it. I only did about 4 episodes of Dancing with the Stars, filling in for Chong, but really great. I did a season of Australia's Got Talent, and
I think the thing that most interested me about what you were saying about your influences was early on with Brian Kemp. He taught you how to be with other musicians and converse, and really get into the industry. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit more about that? Because I think that's quite interesting for the young trombonists out there.
Yeah, well, for young trombonists, and I was just talking to a couple of guys a week or so ago who want to start up a big band, and it's all about teamwork, especially in a big band and in an orchestra. And you could be the most incredible technician, but no one wants to sit beside you. And I was the musical director of the Victoria Police Show Band for about 6 years. And we would select musicians, obviously on an audition on their level of proficiency. But then there was this another layer of, you've got to work with these people, sometimes 6 or 7 days a week, and sit on a bus for 5 hours going out to a country gig. You've got to get on with people, and you've got to be respectful, and they've, so earning that level of respect's always been a huge one. And as a musical director as well, if your ensemble don't respect you as a leader, you're going to be really pushing it the whole time.
We often overlook that, being a team player, working with each other and building each other up so that you can get a better output from your music.
Yeah, it's earning your stripes. It's your reputation that you're developing as a young musician, seeking out good mentors. And people, I've got a few students that I mentor, young musicians, and they're great because they work hard and they're hungry for knowledge, and they'll get somewhere. It's the other ones that have this sense of entitlement. It's all just going to happen. The world's just going to bring it all onto me. It ain't going to happen. And I had some great mentors too. The late Tommy Tico, I'd always sit down with him and chat about the business, and he'd give me all these great tips. And
fantastic.
So valuable.
Brilliant. Let's move on. Everyone's got a funny story about something that happened while they were playing a gig or maybe a rehearsal. Do you have a funny story for us?
Maybe I'll give you just 3 quick ones. So,
no worries.
Many years ago, there was a famous band leader around town. I won't name him, but he had a book of charts. Sometimes he'd have charts in 2 keys, one for a male singer and one for a female singer. This particular chart in New York, one key was written on yellow manuscript, paper, and the other one was written on white. So New York came up in the set list, but no one bothered to check which one it was. So counted in introduction, and it was just woeful. It was just like this cacophony of sound. And he realized what had happened. So he got to the introduction, he stopped the band, which is pretty embarrassing on a gig, but he stopped the band, and he just yelled out to the band, "You got the wrong one, change it over." So there's a mad scurry of paper going. He counted it again, of course.
Everyone changed
just
it over.
As bad. Everyone had changed it, that was. On another gig of his, there was a club behind the exhibition buildings in Melbourne called Jackson Square. And it was a bit of a hangout for the local Carlton, shady characters, mafia type people.
Yeah.
And so the band's playing, and there was an act out the front. I can't remember who it was. It was someone like Tony Pantano, a really great singer. And he's in the middle of this huge number like Granada, and it's just reaching the climax, and he's climbing up, and it's getting, and this big burly guy in a dinner suit just waltzes out in the middle of the stage and grabs the microphone off him and just says, "Will the owner of car HJQ350 kindly move in right now because you're blocking the boss in?" And it's like everyone's just dumbfounded. So that was another one.
Great time.
Favorite one of one of my band gigs at Crown Casino. We were backing a few acts, and one was a Dean Martin impersonator, and he didn't have charts, and so I've got a lot of Dean Martin charts in the book, so that was fine. We sorted that out, and we're rehearsing in the afternoon. We're rehearsing Volare. Now my chart had a key change in the middle of it, so we get to that point, and we have to stop because he says, "Oh, I don't do the key change. Can we just do this without the key change?" So yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Instruct the band when we get there. We're not going to do the key change, so everyone just transpose the second half of the chart down semitone. Easy enough, easy chart. So we rehearse it. It's all good. Okay. Hours later, we get out on the gig. We're on the stage. We launch into Volare. It gets to the key change, and we keep going with no key change, but the singer's gone up a semitone. And we go for a few bars, thinking, this is interesting.
He's going to notice, surely.
I'm looking around the band. The piano player's in tears. People can't produce a note anymore. At least the drum and the bass player could keep going, and the guitarist, and he got to the end of the song. Now, you try that as an oral exercise. I defy any singer to be able to do that deliberately. Yeah. And he just walks off the stage, and then he goes, yeah, sorry, something wasn't quite right in one of those songs. I'm not quite sure what it was, but thanks. You guys were awesome. It's like, I couldn't even hear that he'd done that. Yeah, it was just one of those magic moments, and we still, that's going in the book.
Incredible. Did you get many audience members come up and ask you afterwards whether anything went wrong?
Yeah, there was the time we were playing in a ballroom with a big long dance floor in front of us, and the burly guy, we were just playing some dinner music, and was the big band. It wasn't too loud. Big burly guy in a suit gets up, waltzes across the dance floor, stands in front of us and says, "Can you guys take this down a couple of octaves? People are trying to talk." Walks off. Yeah, I'm sure you'd love this 2 octaves lower with it resonating through your stomach. But,
I'm sure the bass trombonist would have been happy with that.
He was already taking it down 2 octaves.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So many good stories. You should write a book. Maybe we could get you on when you've written the book, and you could read us a few.
I'll do a reading.
Yes, that'd be lovely. Big armchair with a fire.
One day when I got time.
You don't have time at the moment with everything that's going on?
No, I'm still madly busy.
Quite busy.
Developing a few ideas and projects, and just getting some charts finished that I have gone on the back burner. That's one good thing.
Great.
And I said, still a little bit of writing work, and I'm just developing some teaching resources as well. Yeah, I'm doing a project at the moment for the Jazz Orchestra, and I've got one more person to put their recording in. Nat Amy, get on with it. Oh no, he would have finished it by the time he sees this. It takes so long.
It does.
It just takes one person to get held up, and it's the whole thing just gets. I'm just worried it's going to be finished and we're going to be out of the lockdown and no one's going to be interested in watching it.
So that's your current project. You're quite busy doing that.
Yeah, and I probably want to put one together too for the other band that I'm really passionate about, which is the Melbourne Jazz Trombone Ensemble, where we're 8 trombones in the rhythm section, and we've got a great repertoire of stuff. So I might do a new chart for them and get them, because who knows when the jazz clubs are going to reopen? They'll probably be the last.
Yes,
it's a bit hard to socially distance a big band.
Absolutely, and certainly on the Trombone channel, that's what we're passionate about too. Trombone ensembles. We want to try and promote everyone's efforts to really bring that voice to the musical landscape as much as possible.
Yeah, and it works so well. I tell my students in my arranging classes, you can put a 5 saxophone band together with a rhythm section. It's kind of good, super sax sort of thing.
Yep.
You can try it with 5 trumpets in rhythm section, and it's hideous. And it starts to sound like angry bees after a while. It's you can only take 1 or 2 shots. No, sorry, all my trumpet player friends, I do love you. But 5 trombones in the rhythm section, that's just the capital bones. It's just that fantastic sound.
Yeah.
And I think it's just trombones. Trombones are kind of like the human voice in a lot of ways, aren't they? Yeah. It's that purity of sound and
and ballads through to fast funk is great on trombone. I'm working with a few guys doing some ska and reggae stuff.
Yeah.
So it's so versatile, and we've been talking a lot about the versatility of the trombone and how important it is as a player to get that versatility into your playing.
Yeah. And in bands like Bonerama, there's a couple of the guys I know from Harry Connick's band that put that together.
Yeah.
It's got that New Orleans groove, and it's funky, and it's put that to your students, they'll love it.
Fantastic. Great. Thanks so much for everything, Daryl, today, coming on the Superbone channel. We've had a good time. I think I've learned a lot, actually, so thanks very much for answering my questions and being open to that. Fantastic.
I like to talk. We could go on for hours.
We probably
more
could.
Stories.
Another edition, perhaps. Thank you very much, Daryl. And thank you for you guys at home for watching our videos. We're really enjoying putting them together, along with all my special guests. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I am. And please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook or Instagram. And share the love if you're a trombone player. Lots more videos coming up. We've got some more musical recordings, and some of the special guests that I've been interviewing are coming up as well. So I hope you enjoy the channel, and if you do, please subscribe. All right. Thanks, Daryl. We'll say goodbye for now.
Thanks, Michael. Okay. Cheers.